Blake Shelton was just another country music enthusiast who wanted to be a star before he had a successful career spanning over 20 years and a string of popular singles. Dorothy, Shelton's mother, shared her son's passion for country music and encouraged him to pursue a career in it. Dorothy devoted herself to beauty pageants in an effort to fulfill her son's goal. The pageants nearly caused Shelton to quit acting altogether, even if her intentions were pure. One woman's impact on the Beatles. Paul McCartney reveals it all. Shelton reflected on how his mother pushed him into beauty pageants when he sat down to talk about his country music legacy on Q with Tom Power. He continued, "Can't you tell by looking at me that I'm pageant material?" Despite the fact that the country singer's idea of parading across the stage sounded strange. Shelton stopped acting altogether after finding the pageants to be an embarrassing period of his life. Being a contestant in those pageants was the most humiliating experience of my life. "Mom, singing is so embarrassing that I don't want to do it anymore," I informed her. "Moreover, my companions will discover the truth." Thankfully, Shelton returned to performing just a short time after that. After that, I decided it was too embarrassing and quit. And I didn't feel the need to act again until I was around 13 years old, maybe 12 or 13. A return to Shelton's performing career was met with his mother's unwavering support. However, they opted for a new strategy this time. Near Ada, Oklahoma, my mom discovered a few small hometown shows that were similar to the Opry. She would go and grovel at the two of them to let me be on, and then it all started over again. I was eventually able to perform with performers like Mark Colley, Paul Overstreet, Travis Tritt, and Kentucky Headhunters at that time. Despite being allowed to sing his beloved songs, Shelton never neglected to incorporate Cat Scratch Fever in his pageant act. "I was the only boy in the entire pageant back then. I had two signature songs," he remembered. "I sang Old Time Rock and Roll and Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent, the meaning of which was completely baffling to both my mom and me. I believe we were under the impression that it was about a sick person's house cat that scratched them." Blake Shelton was once a shy, country music artist from a small town in Oklahoma who feared the spotlight and sequins even more than he loved singing. Now, he's one of the most beloved coaches on The Voice. A little-known part of Blake's childhood, his participation in beauty pageants nearly destroyed his entire singing career, as he revealed in a recently rediscovered interview. Yes, it's true, Blake Shelton has a history of competing in child beauty pageants. Unfortunately, that was not the intention. On local stages and in the glory of pageants, Dorothy Shelton, Blake's mother, saw her son's singing potential at a young age, long before he became famous and sang in stadium tours and on television. Blake had a profound passion for music and an ability to captivate an audience before the age of 8. However, his mother discovered an unexpected avenue to showcase her son's talent: children's beauty pageants. During a radio interview, Blake made a joke about how he was confused at first. "All I wanted to do was go somewhere and sing. As soon as I take a breath, I'm encircled by a swarm of young girls in sparkly gowns as they delicately style my hair and apply face powder." According to Blake, his mother entered him in beauty pageants so he could show off his talents at the talent show. "She simply wished for others to hear my voice," he clarified. "It was her assumption that I would be the one to stand in front of the microphone." Flush with shame and moving on. However, despite his mother's best efforts, the event had a profound and negative impact on young Blake. He exclaimed with a grin, "It was traumatizing." From his perspective, "I'd wear jeans and a button-down, convinced that I was merely performing a small country tune." At the same time, a slew of young women bearing crowns and sashes sauntered across the stage. "I was the proverbial stick out." According to Blake, he was on the verge of quitting singing completely due to the humiliation, even though his vocals were usually jaw-dropping and he had won a few talent awards. "I told my mom I was through and that I wasn't going to do this anymore. No, I'm not a beauty queen." Also, the taunting was counterproductive. Being a boy who sings in pageants was met with ridicule in a tiny community where traditional masculinity reigned. Some of my buddies were like, "Dude, what's the big deal with that?" Plus, I was stumped for a response. All I wanted to do was sing. Almost quitting music, leaving the stage altogether was something that young Blake considered for a time. His love of music was about to be stifled by the social awkwardness of competing in beauty pageants. But he persevered with the help of his mother's words of encouragement and his own increasing will to succeed. The truth, he said, was that he was relieved she had done it. Indeed, it was humiliating. It did, however, instruct me in the art of performing in front of large audiences. Even the art of laughing it off. According to him now, that early hardship was a part of what made him the performer he is now. Perhaps I would not have mustered the courage to pursue this dream in the future if I hadn't endured that. Taking Nashville to the next level, at some point, Blake moved on from beauty pageants to more serious venues, such as community festivals and talent contests, where his voice began to garner significant attention. He relocated to Nashville to devote himself fully to music when he was 17 years old. His first #1 single, Austin, came just a few years after that. Since then, Blake has become one of the most recognizable faces and voices in country music with over 30 chart-topping singles, multiple award wins, and a long-running role as a coach on The Voice. And yes, he still jokes about those early pageant days. Every now and then my mom will pull out pictures of me from back then, standing on stage with a microphone and this big nervous grin. I tell her, "Burn those," he said, chuckling. But deep down, I know she believed in me before I believed in myself. The power of a mom who believes. Blake's story is more than just a funny anecdote. It's a heartfelt reminder of how parents sometimes see our potential before we do. Dorothy Shelton's decision to enter her son in pageants wasn't about glitter and trophies. It was about giving him a platform, however unconventional. "She's always been my biggest supporter," Blake said. "Even when I didn't get it, she saw something in me." Their bond remains strong to this day, and he's quick to credit her with pushing him toward his dreams. Fans react. Blake's story is so relatable. As Blake's pageant story made its rounds online, fans flooded social media with support and their own hilarious childhood stories. "I love that he was in pageants. Makes him even more relatable," one fan wrote on Twitter. Another added, "Every parent's dream is to help their kid shine." Blake's mom did just that, even if it meant dragging him into glittery chaos. Some fans even shared old photos of themselves in childhood talent shows and pageants, inspired by Blake's honesty and humor. A full circle moment. Ironically, years later, Blake would find himself mentoring young talent in the spotlight as a coach on The Voice. He's helped dozens of rising stars build confidence on stage, something he almost lost himself during those early awkward years. "I always tell the contestants, you've got to own your story. And I guess mine includes some pretty sparkly beginnings," he joked. Final thoughts. Blake Shelton may have become a country legend with a rugged charm and down-to-earth vibe, but his roots are as humble and hilarious as they come. From feeling out of place in childhood pageants to owning the stage on national television, his journey is a testament to perseverance, humility, and the power of a parent's love.